good. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I love Christmas. Let me rephrase that. I want to love Christmas. Let me rephrase that. I used to love Christmas. I mean, when you're a kid, what's not to love about Christmas? I mean, you got bright lights, decorations, festive music, all that great food. I mean, there's an excitement in the air, you know what I mean? Anticipation. It's an energy. When I was a kid, one of my favorite parts of Christmas, every year they show those Christmas specials. They got those annual specials every year. There's like a handful of them that are just the classics. I looked forward to those things every year. The one that always came out first. It seemed like it was first. Back when Christmas started about 2 weeks before Christmas, not like in October like it does now. Remember Charlie Brown Christmas? The Peanuts gang, they're all sitting around trying to figure out what the true meaning of Christmas is. And they've got that pathetic little tree that's hung down by that one huge ornament that's just dropping its little needles off. And Linus has to shore it up with his blanket. Frosty the Snowman. Not one of my favorites, but every year it's on. Remember, the kids build that snowman and they put the magician's hat on him. And then he comes to life and he's, Happy New Year! Never gets it right. And the magician then, he catches him in the greenhouse when he takes the little girl in there to keep her warm. And the guy shuts the door and Frosty melts. And Santa shows up and she's there and Frosty's in a puddle. And Santa says, you know what? Frosty's made of Christmas snow. He can never melt. So he opens the door and the wind blows in and Frosty reanimates and says, Happy birthday! Another good one, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Not the Ron Howard one, the cartoon classic, the one that's been on for like 40 years. I love that. Remember? You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You got a serious Who hater here. And every year he's watching those guys down in the valley and he's just miserable because they're all so happy. So one year he decides, I'm going to go down the hill and I'm going to steal everything that has anything to do with Christmas, and then I'm going to take it back up to the mountain to my lair, and we'll just see how miserable they are. Well, what does he do? Christmas morning, he's waiting up on the hill, waiting to hear their cries and their boo-hoos, and what does he hear? Singing. They're happy. And we all know his problem, right? His heart's like 3 sizes too small. And then it grows to like 10 times. And all of a sudden he sees a sled going over the side of the hill. And he has superhuman strength. And he picks it up and hoists it over his head. And he decides he's going to go back down the hill. With that pathetic little dog with the one little antler. He's got that one branch and he's chasing the sled down the hill. And the Grinch comes in. And all of a sudden he becomes Santa. He saves Christmas Day. That's a great one. But my absolute favorite, oh my gosh, I could watch this 6 times a year, is that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know, the little stop-motion animated one with Burl Ives the snowman? Silver and gold means so much more when I see. I'm not a very good singer. I like Burl Ives on TV. There are so many good characters in that one. They have the reindeer games, and there's the coach with the whistle. He's just a stereotype coach. Come on, you reindeer, line up. And there's Rudolph with his little black nose cover, because his parents are so ashamed of his little beak in there. And he's talking to the one little girl reindeer. They're getting ready for the games. And she says, well, I think you're really cute. And Rudolph's like, she thinks I'm cute. And he's just flying overhead, and Santa's all impressed. I love that. My favorite character in that show is the prospector, Yukon Cornelius. The guy's walking around with his pickaxe, throwing it up in the air, lands in the ground. He's like, nothing. And he's the one who engineers the whole escape. Remember Herbie? Herbie, the elf that wants to be a dentist? I want to be a dentist. And the main elf, he's just like horrified. He's like, you want to be a dentist? And then they ship him off to the like island of mismatched socks or misfit toys, wherever it is they go. Anyway, they need to save Rudolph's family. So he's the one who engineers with her. They pull all the teeth out of the abominable snowman. And at the very end of the show, there's the abominable snowman putting the star on top of the tree. And Yukon's like, that's a mighty humble bumble. I love that. I loved all those shows as a kid. But you know what? Here's the thing. I'm not a kid anymore. And I kind of been looking around, you know, and I noticing some of my friends, and they're not kids either. In fact, I mean, I don't know how to say this nicely, but some of them are kind of old. And they're not aging as gracefully as me. Thank you. That's my point. We're not just carefree kids anymore. I mean, we're not really carefree anything. You know, I mean, we pretty much lived our lives. We grew up together enjoying Christmas, the magic, the energy, the excitement. We enjoyed all that. We grew up together and we shared our toys and we graduated from school. We went on to get our driver's licenses and to get jobs and girlfriends and boyfriends, and we went out into the world and we got careers and we got married, bought houses, did all that great stuff. We celebrated birthdays and anniversaries and births. You know, it's been kind of a blur in a good way, but my point is, it's like we're in a different season of our lives. Like a different slice of life right now. And it seems like all the circumstances, the experiences that are dominating our lives right now are just kind of overshadowing the joy I want to have. I have a good friend. His name's Alan, and he told me the other day that his wife, Beth, is very, very sick. And she's been diagnosed cancer or a blood disorder. I'm not really clear on that, but the point is, he's scared. And needless to say, his Christmas, a friend of mine, he and his wife are going through a divorce. Nasty, really. I mean, they were so good for so long, and now it's so long. I mean, 23 years, he's looking at Christmas all alone. And my neighbors. This couple is like the most, Tim and Maggie are like the most perfect couple you would ever want to meet in your life. They're terrific people. And she just had a miscarriage. And, I mean, they have two beautiful boys, wonderful family, but this was going to be this little girl. And these are my friends. These are my very best friends in the whole wide world, and it just seems like everybody that I know is sick, or separated, or sad, or just shaken somehow. And the disappointment is huge. I mean, it's like overwhelming. And I'll be honest, I feel kind of betrayed. A little bit disillusioned. I feel alone, and I feel helpless. And as if that wasn't enough, they're talking layoffs at my job after the first of the year. Major layoffs. I don't even know if I'm going to have a job. Ho, 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 ho. More like ho, 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 hum. You know, this would be a great time for Clarence the Angel to show up. You know, like in It's a Wonderful Life, show me maybe my life isn't quite as desperate as it seems. You know, it'd be nice if you could just take me back through, you know, an alternate version of my life, how things would be apart from my magnificent contribution to all my friends.